with Atlantic Records, been there for about 8 years now. But I'm also with Dinner with Friends. And the reason why I joined Dinner with Friends is because I felt it was important to highlight some of the educators, the leaders, also some of the creatives and entrepreneurs in the community. And instead of just following each other on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter, to sit face to face to talk about some of the things that we're doing, some of the things that matter, and let's get together, because once you bring together ideas, ideas bring about what? Action. Thanks so much.
I can feel your rain when it cries. Gold lives inside of you. I love it when I'm in it. I love it when I'm in it.
But dessert, like I said, it's gonna be a fun topic, somewhat silly. Anybody can jump in on this one. In the past week, we saw a very, very important issue spread all over social media. Like it's hard out there for guys to the point that they don't want to be guys anymore. You know what I'm saying? But I want to know, how many people did you have to unfollow on social media this week for posting Bruce Jenner? I unfollowed at least 15.
Was that one of them? I didn't unfollow anybody. I did see somebody post something that was kind of funny. Cole was obviously doing the bottle with names on it, and there was a bottle that had Bruce, and he took a sharp and wrote through it and wrote Caitlyn underneath. I thought it was pretty hilarious. I had to tweet that.
Yeah, I didn't follow anybody either, but I have definitely checked out of enough conversations because, frankly, at this point, I just don't care. I'm glad that he or she has found happiness in this new incarnation, but frankly, I could get back to life as I knew it before this.
Right. So I didn't unfollow you, but I take it that you posted, you went in.
I wouldn't say I went in on him. It was pretty much like a why do we care kind of thing. You know, I did post a magazine cover and I wrote about it or whatever, but I don't care either. I mean, what's the big deal? He wants to wear dresses, okay, that's him, but why is it something you say?
Well, we're in the media, you're in the media, like, why is this suspect?
I'm going to piggyback off of what you said, and you too, as far as people not, and I'm going to bring you back to the other thing, talking about you don't care what people do, because y'all don't want to. But anyway, but my thing is, if we, like, people shouldn't care. Let me tell you what I'm happy about as a female, okay? I'm happy that we live in a society where a man can express himself like that, so that he can know. Because think about it, in the 60s and the 70s. I wonder how many, men that were alternative really married a female because it was a thing to do. They couldn't be open about it. They couldn't have the picket fence, or they had to live that life under like, oh my God, I really want to be something else, or I can't be myself. So when I say I don't care, I'm just glad that, like, I mean, imagine if you were still married to him and this man secretly is trying on your lingerie and that's what he want to do and what he want to do. So, I mean, as far as people being able to speak out and be themselves, I don't care.
Did you see a uptick in traffic from the stuff that you did?
I got a lot of traffic that day, but I think it was more.
So people do care.
Yeah. I mean, they want to talk about it, but I think they care about him more so because of Kim, more so because of her connection to Kanye. So, you know what I mean? As far as my urban audience, it's like, nobody really cares about Bruce Jenner, but then they care about Kim, and they care, so it's like everybody on my side was going in because they felt like he was upstaging Kim's pregnancy news or whatever. So, it's just how you spin it,
Hot issue of the day. It's one of those things. Something another thing that I saw that I thought was interesting, that someone showed that where Bruce is being vilified as a hero, and then they showed side by side a picture of Michael Jackson, who is being condemned for going through the surgery he went through, which gets into a black light. Which is always,
you know what?
I'm not saying I agree with it, but it was interesting to see. That
Mike never came out and said, I'm a woman. Right. Call me Michelle. You know what I mean? He never did that. And so regardless of him looking like a woman, I mean, he just wanted to be a pretty man for all I know. You see what I mean? So I think there's a difference in that vilifying thing.
Yeah, I mean, because you think about the Kardashians, like when you think about Kim and all of the family that's supporting, like in a black family, would we support a man, like we may not support them like that? You know what I'm saying?
You can tell them to go to church.
Yeah. on every little league team you can. He be switching up and down the field, running, really pushing. I'm sorry.
I think a big part is though, Michael came to stardom in 80s, early 90s when there wasn't social media. I think Coach K mentioned how everything happens so fast. We live in a microwave society, and so we don't really get a chance. We can look at a lot of things over the last 5 or 10 or 20 years that we would all view differently if social media, if Instagram and Facebook were the lenses through which we viewed those things. But since we don't, I think this is the first time it's happening. I'm hoping it's the last, but I know it's not.
It's not. There's a new reality show that's starting.
There's a new reality show.
Yeah, they're starting. They're talking, and not on like a traditional like cable network. This is broad. It's gonna be on ABC.
Not his show. There's gonna be another show.
Another show that talks
another
about transgender, making that transformation.
I wonder how much of this is just like the frivolity of something being new, and because it's new right now, we want to talk about it. But I wonder if in 6 months, people will be watching whatever Bruce Jenner's show is, or whether or not the conversation about transgender is one that'll continue.
It's not necessarily new. It's new in the United States.
Right. In mainstream society, right?
13 years ago when I went to grad school, it was in Asia on a trip in Bangkok. Went to a hospital, Bumrungrad Hospital. It's the #1 hospital in the world for transgender surgery.
You know what I thought about the other day? I'm sorry, maybe. Like, what if you want to go back?
There's a guy who actually went back. So I drove to St. Simon.
You tested out
as this was happening.
Think about it. You get married, you change your mind. People sometimes have gay marriage. They decide they don't want to be in a gay marriage anymore. So what if you?
I was making a drive to South Georgia and with some Republican colleagues who were listening to Rush Limbaugh, and there's a guy who literally apparently had criticized this entire thing, and it basically gone from being a man to a woman and then come back to being a man. He essentially said psychologically and physiologically the switch is impossible to make. And he had all these harsh words for Bruce, Caitlyn, what have you. But I mean, I didn't listen to Bruce. I didn't listen to Rush Limbaugh maybe ever in my life. But I mean, I'm sure millions of people were tuning in and hearing what he had to say about it, and we'll talk about
surgery-wise.
Apparently he was you can't put it back. That's a good point.
You got to do it with fighting chicks.
Maybe get another one.
So Mr. Politics, since we're on that, one thing that always gets out there when a story like this hits, somebody says, man, they're distracting us from the real stuff. Do you think that's true? What's going on right now in the world of politics that you should be listening to instead of worrying about what this dude's doing, what's in his underwear?
Well, I would also say, it's hard to be distracted if you don't want to pay attention. I don't feel distracted. I feel like my water cooler and my cocktail conversation's been hijacked, but if I want to read about something, there's more information about anything in politics that's readily available today on the internet or radio or television than ever before in history. So, I had a conversation Friday with a woman named Amber Payne who is running a website called NBC Black, which essentially is like, a website focused on cultural conversations around people of color for NBC that I didn't even know that much about until I kind of stumbled upon it.
So that's the actual name of the site? NBC
NBCBLK.com is what it is. They're not paying me for the shout out, but I thought it was really interesting that a multinational global corporation like NBC said, hey, we want to have a conversation or be a part of this conversation as well. So there's a lot of stuff that's still happening, but I can't give much quarter to people who say I'm being distracted. Like if you're tuning in, then you probably are interested in it.
So another thing that we was touching on before we went to the break, we want to try to throw a fun spin on this because it's a word that gets a lot of people angry, but the word like appropriation. Saying they stealing our stuff and making it theirs and this, that, and the other. I'm gonna throw it back to you. Like Hillary Rodham Clinton running for president, she stole the Run DMC logo.
She stole okay.
And tried to make it look like, yeah, I'm down with hip hop. I'm cool. So that sounds expensive.
Assuming we're still going, I'm just gonna say, like culture vultures, right? People who take and reappropriate. What people got to realize, in my opinion, is that most of these industries are very transactional. Politics is very transactional, but so is music. We talked about, the Versace and the Migos, and 10 years ago we had Busta Rhymes and Pastor Cavassier, and I think we got to realize that if someone's going to use something we've put into the ethos that they can use any way they want, then we got to figure out how we get something back from it. Either how we protect it or how we get something back from it. And I think protection in the age of the internet is done, right? Copyrights, trademarks, it's going to be really difficult to enforce protection.
Mike, I want to bring you in on this because you run a little festival festival called A3C that's, been around for only 10 years, and you guys, you try to make everything authentic at the festival. You try to be very protective. So like, I want to bring you into this conversation. Like, what do you think about just like this whole thing, like people trying to steal hip hop culture for something else? I mean, like, should it be welcome that people are, let me borrow a little bit of this?
I mean, hip hop is a huge business, right? I mean, it's arguably culturally the largest business in the world. I mean, you can't put a price tag on it. It's basketball, it's clothing, it's music, it's entertainment. So it's tough for me. What I try to do, or what we try to do, is empower people that we feel are doing really creative and fun stuff. So it's not so much protecting people, but giving people a platform. I agree with what you said 100%. I think you put something out there, people are going to find a way to use it. That's America. I don't care who you are, black, white, Asian. Like, you're going to find a way to make money off something. So
Copying is a form of flattery.
think of how quickly people turn like slogans or anything into a T-shirt, trying to add it for a campaign line or whatever it is. I mean, that's going to happen. That's been happening forever. The thing is, hip hop is starting trends. I mean, we're the fastest people to do things that are catching. I mean, if you think about all these hashtags and everything, they're coming out of hip hop culture. They're not coming out of anywhere else. I mean, it's just the biggest business is coming out of hip hop culture.
So crazy. A friend of mine, she has a blog. She watermarks all the pictures. I'm like, why do you do that? I mean, it's out there. She's like, man, this is guy that was in New York that takes people's selfies, adds a little shadow to it, tints a little bit, and selling the pieces for $90,000 on our gallery. I mean, it's just, once you put it out there, it's out there. You know what I mean? So it's.
And I think you can find a happy medium sometimes where
90 grand.
that's crazy. I mean, New York's a different. There's some idiots that'll pay money for something, but I do think being an artist now, especially music, you have to find. You make things that are essentially free. People have to value music to zero. Like, people do not want to spend $1 on music. So, as an artist, as musicians, you have to get creative. I mean, I don't care if you're selling Instagrams for $8,000 or t-shirts or something, but you have to be creative. It's really tough out there for music specifically, but
how have you guys been able to keep? I mean, DJ Sense, he helped build this grand studio that we're sitting in right now, technically off of mixtapes that got free for me. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, there's other ways that you can generate income, and we got penalized. The world famous Raid. When we was doing the mixtape, you know a lot about that, cool. But that's why we decided to take it to a whole new level and put out original music as DJs. That's why you see the whole DJ album thing, taking on artists, production, all that kind of stuff. It's just taking it. The DJ is always going to be the foundation when it comes to music, but then you always want to take it to a new level, and there's a whole bunch of ways to monetize it. I don't necessarily feel like the urban side of hip-hop or music is really failing. I think you just got to educate yourself as far as how to make money on the sales and everything when it comes to music, the whole digital platform, all that kind of stuff. There are ways of generating a lot of money when it comes to music, so I feel like it's really increasing.
And DJs aren't they? They're like the original middlemen, the original business people, and they're the original they're going to create a network and they're going to create an avenue and then be the curators for that. I mean, and that hasn't gone anywhere. But continue to redevelop and renew that as technology, because technology is what breaks everything down every 5 years. I mean, that's
business has got to catch up to
technology, and it's not we can't tell the future, so we don't necessarily know, but
trial and error.
Yes.
Yes.
Figuring out how to monetize the things that you're doing.
Exactly.
So we're going to wrap this up. I hope everybody had a good time, but before we go, I want everybody to say one thing that they enjoyed the most tonight. What did you enjoy the most tonight?
I enjoyed the table conversation. I enjoyed the debate.
I enjoyed the interaction, Chef. I really enjoyed the lamb chops and that salad. We're gonna talk after this.
Let's do it.
Yeah, definitely kudos on the food. Food was amazing. Definitely love being at this table with some amazing minds that had different perspectives.
Yeah, sorry I'm late. The food was, to echo what you're saying, the food was great, and I wish I was a part of the larger conversation. I'm sorry I came late, but always a pleasure to sit with great minds and talk.
amazing. Really good. I even chased second. That's probably why I wasn't.
I'm looking forward to go play.
Exactly. It was good, but I like the interaction. Like, I love learning. I'm not really a big talker. Like, I've been in the music industry 17 years. Only spoke on 2 panels. But I'm learning now to start interacting. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of like a hermit. I just get in my hole and work. But I got a lot to share though. So like now, I started a label 2 years ago. It's like now I want to share, teach kids, and build executives. New young executives. So the legacy can move on because it's a lot of these kids out here that just they need the knowledge.
That Billboard article you had, I think that's the first time I've seen you in a professional photo shoot. Every photo of Coach K is like somebody's cell phone. He ain't even looking at them. He's like Bigfoot.
It's for real. It's for real, man. I enjoy this tour. My good friend of almost 20 years, he puts this on. He's been on me. I've been wanting to get here, but every time something comes up, I have to go. But this was fun. This was dope. I really enjoyed it.
It's great to hear that. I think I have a tremendous amount of pride in our city, Atlanta. So hearing that from Coach is like more people doing that, giving back, talking to people.
Yeah. So what did you enjoy the most?
Like everybody else, I will echo compliments to the chef. It was great. I also just say it's great to meet new people and see old friends like this guy and that lady, and hope to do more of it. So.
Yes, definitely want to say the food was awesome, Chef, but you never ever let anybody down with that. Also want to give kudos to you guys, Ken, and the whole group that put this together, because I know sometimes we can all get wrapped up in our own world and monotony, seeing the same people, but to kind of see different minds but like minds come together, and you know that sometimes you're not alone in your thought process, or you walk away with a different perspective, like, So that's always like a think tank, so I think that was great. And I was glad you were late. I'm sorry, it was just funny.
You're welcome. We're going to have a word from Tori. We got to put this all together and have a word from Tori.
Right. Hey, I just want to thank everybody for coming out. First and foremost, I definitely want to thank my team, my man Keenan, Jennifer, Cannon, Bane, who couldn't make it, and definitely compliments to the chef. He did a wonderful job. I want to thank our sponsors, Absolutely Lit, and just my good friends. This is about friends. This is about positive thinking. It's about moving culture forward. My friend Coach K has been my friend for almost 20 years. My friend since, I won't say your real name, but we've been friends almost 20 years, man, and just to have people that I consider family come and sit at this table and do what they can to try to move this culture forward and have us viewed in a positive light. Pretty soon we're going to take over the world, and I'm just glad that we're trying to do it together. I just want to say peace to all of you, and I hope you all come back. But one thing I do want you to do is to follow us on Instagram. Please. That's dinner_with_friends. If you can take your phones out now and follow. Of course. This is just the beginning. It's going to be something very major. So thank you all.
And also tag your pictures too.
Oh yeah, tag your pictures.
Can we all get together for some shots?
We always do that. So if everybody, if you're done eating, I know the food was wonderful. Let's adjourn to the steps. Zach is going to take I'm sorry.
But before you do that, we do have some gifts for you guys.
Oh yeah.
We do know your time is very valuable. We don't take that for short at all. So Elix has provided everybody with a complimentary bottle of Elix that we want you all to take home. But we also have some other gift bags as well that include my brand, Never So Dope. That's right. You'll get a sweatshirt from me. You'll also get a CD from Cannon and Fast and Furious 7
That's
soundtrack.
right, courtesy of Atlantic Records.
And lastly, you'll get these incredible, because this is a culinary event, these incredible pickles from a company called the Garner Girls.
Oh yeah.
Incredible package.
Absolutely.
You're going to love it, I promise. So
Save it for your college.
we're going to send you off right. We're not bringing you in here for no reason. So thank you all. Clap it up and we'll take a picture. All right, so steps, everybody.
Hey, you sending me some lamb chop.
I know.
There you go, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hey.
Well, I mean, we all were young at one point, and usually when you're young, you tend to rebel And it's usually hard to have a direct conversation with those who are older than you unless they take the time to be around you and really hear where you're coming from, and not assume because of the way you dress, the way you wear your hair, the way you talk, the music you listen to, the car you drive, you're still usually just a young person trying to figure it out, okay? And oftentimes we put on all these extra things to get more attention because we're really screaming out. So I think we're in a really interesting place, and I think young men and women under 45 years old especially, it's really our responsibility to remember what it was like growing up when you were 8, when you were 15. Didn't you have somebody to look up to? Remember the guy who used to ride by you when you were playing basketball, they'd be thumping and they were like 25, but they would stop and say, what's up, give you some dap, buy you some candy, you know, play basketball with you, the people you looked up to in your community. Well, we can't be so detached with social media, so detached with our businesses, with our lives, not to find some communities. Just go find some kids and be there in their lives. It's really that simple. When you see some little kids on the street, talk to them. Say what's up. Bring them in, because that could be the difference in this young man becoming someone great or this young man becoming a killer. Just because you spoke to them.